July the 1st. This is Carolyn Winter. And my series of sessions for this year is called Make Peace Personal. And that's where I invite every one of you participating in these sessions to make 2 intentions. You'll find the spot to submit those intentions over at the blog worldpeacehologram.com. Look for this post, Make Peace Personal, and there's a link there for the form. Your 2 intentions will serve us well for the whole year. Each of these 12 repatternings for 2018 are incorporating any of those intentions that you've submitted. Try to limit it to 2. But I do agree, world peace is a broad topic, and there's so many parts of the world that need our attention. So for those of you who are new, I'll just go through a quick run through about what these sessions are all about. We're using the resonance repatterning system of healing to identify the patterns that need to shift to create our overall intentions for world peace. We use 2 tools to identify those patterns, and one is this map that shows us where in the system to go, orientation, problems, intentions, repatternings, which are more protocols to give us more information about the patterns. Spiral up tools, simple healing exercises that help us shift our energy. Very simple to do. You can do it at home. And positive actions or homework, something that you'll do after the session to help incorporate the shift. And the second tool is muscle checking. And that's where we use this technology of the body's ability to tune in what it wants for itself, to identify what the resonance is for any piece of information that comes up in the session. We're either on for something or we're off. In the beginning, when we're in this inquiry mode, we're always on for the negative things, and that's why we experience them. And we're weak or off for the positive things. That's why we don't have enough of it in our lives. By the end of the session, when we've done the healing exercises, basically, we'll be in a position to confirm that we're off for the negative and on or strong for the positive. Now, simple as that sounds, imagine what it's like for you to resonate or be strong for the intentions you want for your life, or the intentions we as a group want for world peace. So everyone has been invited to pick a part of the world that needs a peace intention. So unlike other group exercises, we're not all focusing on the same one thing. You pick your part of the world that needs intention, and also pick something for yourself that needs an intention. And our group energy, and there's well over 40 of us now, will pick up this energy and expand it and help us to shift dynamically. Does it work? Only you will know. So my suggestion is that after these sessions, look at your 2 intentions. And for the world peace intention, make sure that your intention, by the way, in the first place, is very concrete, very observable if it were to come true, if it were to manifest. And just look for evidence of that in the news, in the newspaper, on the media, out in your neighborhood, in your world. Look for evidence that that pattern has arrived. If you resonate with it on the inside, you are now broadcasting that energy on the grid of humanity. Everybody else, because we're all connected, is feeling it too. And so the more we do this, the more we're able to just really give world peace a shot in the arm all around the world. And magically and miraculously, when we spend the time to intend for other people and other situations, our own goals and our own intentions also tend to manifest more quickly and in the most delightful and unexpected ways. So I'm wishing nothing but good for all of us participating in this project. Well, let's get started. I'm going to pull up my notes. I did a little pre-work here for the session so that, because this is a televised, it's live streaming, and we can't do everything that we would normally do in a regular repatterning session if you were coming for a one-to-one session with me. But there's lots we can do as a group, and I did some work beforehand so that we can keep it nice and tight. So to begin with, we're working on this time around. By the way, July 1st, Canada Day. Happy Canada Day, everybody. Um, we're entering into a period of time called the fire element. It's the season of summer. It's related to energetically to the element of fire. And I just want to actually inform you what that's all about because I have a nice book here somewhere. Do I? I did? I do. Fire element. Lots of qualities related to fire element that have to do with relationship and being together with other people. So much of that has to do with world peace and how our leaders are kind of collaborating and getting together or not. So some of the qualities involved at this time of year that are really at the forefront are qualities of, say, joy, warmth, intimacy, sexuality, compassion, positive control, sorting things out, communication and connection, social relationships, balance, protection, especially protection from harm, maturity, and open-heartedness. So those are some of the qualities related to this season that we're in. But today, what we're going to do is something built on that. It's a relationship repatterning called energy exchange repatterning. And I'm going to check. We need to read the introduction for everybody's information beforehand. We do. So this, of course, is written by the founder of the Resonance Repatterning Work, Chloe Wordsworth. And she writes that Dr. Valerie Hunt, a research scientist on energy fields, talks about three types of energy exchanges between people: reaction exchange, transaction exchange, and interaction exchange. Now, in reaction exchange, there's too much force or intensity, which results in impulsive reactive responses based on past survival responses. Can you think of anything like that happening on the world stage among our leaders? In the reaction exchange, the people involved are not inducing the energy of love into their relationship. When only non-coherent energy is exchanged, acceptance, understanding, and listening, which create current flow and a strong magnetic field, are missing. Now, the next type is called transaction exchange. Here, people are energetically selecting those frequencies that they're comfortable allowing into their field. So kind of have a bit of a boundary up there. It gets selective. This unconscious discrimination enables those in relationship to protect their field from frequencies they do not want or feel ready to absorb. Because the transaction exchange is based on protection and filtering, it does not support a full and free energetic expansion, and therefore acceptance and growth are limited. Think of free trade discussions, for example. Um, and also think about how that applies to you personally. Like, all those situations where, you're with somebody and you really can't say the whole story or be fully yourself. You're filtering what you say and do so that you're not going to be judged or thought badly of, etc. But the last type is called interaction exchange. One field of energy is coherent and streams out in expansion to merge with another's coherent field of energy, which is also streaming and expanding. In this type of energy exchange, where both fields expand, there is maximum acceptance and loving honesty. Intimacy, trust, and caring is the natural outcome of an interaction exchange relationship. So, highly energized relationships are based on interaction energy exchange. Whenever one person's coherent energy streams and merges with another person's coherent energy field, a current of love is induced into the relationship circuit, and a magnetic field is created no matter how short the interaction may be. A friend described a magical moment that occurred when she stepped onto a bus. She happened to look up, and at that moment, she and the bus driver made eye contact for about 2 seconds. They both smiled, no words were exchanged, but in that momentary connection between two strangers, There was unconditional love, a streaming and merging of coherent energy, an interaction exchange. So think about that for yourself. Have you ever had that kind of connection with a total stranger where you just kind of recognized each other as two beautiful human beings and just smiled and made a connection? When there is an interaction exchange, whether between strangers, acquaintances, colleagues, partners, spouses, or family members, it's always a peak moment in time, remembered with pleasure and awe. This kind of exchange experienced is determined by the quantity and quality of energy streaming and merging between the two people. When the energy streaming is coherent and reciprocal, the energy fields of both people are amplified. And when that happens, you really feel amazing because you feel like you're just more than what you really are because you have that much more energy available to you. We all long for that kind of relationship. The interacting fields energize those involved and lead to successful creative endeavors and partnerships, as well as feelings of pleasure, joy, love, a sense of ease, harmony, and unity. So that's the description of this repatterning, and we'll just start in on it then. Let's see. So we're going to start with our relationship issue. And this is where I've done a bit of pre-work, looking at all of our nice growing list of issues and intentions. So our first statement is for a relationship. There's the world peace issue, and that is there is a clash of values, lack of compassion, and non-coherent behaviors among world leaders, disrupting harmonious leadership relationships that make cooperation among countries possible. And muscle checking all of you who have given permission to be in this energy healing pod, this hologram, we are resonating with this clash of values. So chances are, if it's happening with the world leaders, we resonate with that happening with world leaders. It's also happening for us personally as well. Okay, so next, our harmonious relationships among world leaders are based on compassion. Oh, yes, this is the intention. Harmonious relationships among world leaders are based on compassion that support cooperation among all countries for a new unprecedented era of peace. And of course, we're off for that. Okay. Now, before we get into the repatterning, we'll also add in our personal intentions. And I've selected some of the more recent ones. Of course, everybody's personal intention from January till now is also included, so be sure to name that for yourself. Here are our 1, 2, 3, 4. We need all of these? We do. So we have 4 statements. I have success in my work. We're off for that. I live my life as an example of peace. Well, we're off for that. When you really clear a lot of your own patterns, you become so in tune to your connection, your interconnection with the grid of humanity, that you realize every footprint that you make, every step you take, every movement that you make is actually affecting the grid. So when you live your life as an example of peace, you're really shaking up that grid to be something wonderful. So we want to resonate with that. I develop new, healthy, and loving friendships in my local area. And we're so very nice, summer intention, but we're off for that. And then the next one is I listen with patience and understanding to the differences of opinions expressed by family and friends and acknowledge others for their point of view. And we're off for that. That's a great intention. And so in line with the summer element, fire element. Fire element is all about being connected, nurturing your relationships, being in touch with people you've lost track of. I notice, especially in the U.S., June going into July is kind of the time for family reunions. People traveling all over the place to have these large gatherings of family. It's all fire element stuff. And if we can really zone in on how we listen with patience and understanding to the differences of others, especially our family and friends, again, the grid of humanity is going to really benefit. All right, now we're going to get into the rest of the repatterning. And the first section is to identify the type of interactions involved. So we need to check on patterns of reaction exchange. Of course we do. Now remember, this is our resonance with what's happening on the world stage or out there in the big world vis-a-vis your world peace intention. 1, 2, 3. I feel unsafe, unprotected. So I feel unprotected to let a world leader's intense energy in. And we're on for that. You could fill it in with a name if you wish. I'm going to keep it neutral. I feel unprotected to let a world leader's underscore, as you wish, intense energy in. And we are on for that. So that's a reaction energy. And there's another one from this list from 1 to 5. There's not. We need a transaction. Now, transaction is when, you know, things are fairly coherent, but we're still putting some filters up. So we're not letting all the energy in from somebody else. We need 1, we need 2, we need 3. And the word is world leader. So again, here's another statement. I hold myself back from love because I'm afraid to absorb certain frequencies from world leaders. And we're on for that. I hold myself back from love because I'm afraid to absorb certain frequencies from world leaders. And we're on for that. Okay, and there's an interaction type of energy exchange. This is the good one where one field of coherent energy mixes and matches with the coherent energy field of another. It streams and meshes, and you get this expansion energy happening. We need 1, we need 2, we need 3. It's a negative statement. Our fields don't mesh to create transformation and expansion for both of us, and we're on for that. You kind of see that in the world right now, don't you? Don't we? Our fields don't mesh to create transformation and expansion for both of us. And we're on for that negative statement. So now there's a set of patterns we're going to identify from something we call the relationship continuum. You know, it's not like you just meet somebody and get married. Like, you know, things start off as an acquaintance phase, and then relationships progress to a friendship phase. Maybe it's a colleague type relationship. So there's these different levels of relationship. When you have a lifelong committed relationship, of course, in that type of relationship, you have all the different levels of relating to each other. So we're checking on what needs to be identified here. So the acquaintance field is needed. We need D little a, acquaintance. We don't. Little b, coherent acquaintance, no. Colleague, yes. Non-coherent, yes. So this is the people that we work with. Maybe even if you're a volunteer somewhere, people on the volunteer team. On the world stage, it's, you know, all the people in one particular department in one country, how they relate to their colleagues in the same department in another, etc., or world leaders. So we need 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 6, 7. I talk about my colleagues' weaknesses. We need that one. No, I complain. So the statement is, I complain about my colleagues' actions to others rather than directly communicate with them. And we're on for that. I'll just write that out. About my colleagues' actions to others rather than directly communicate with them. And, just sort of looking at how we might use that pattern in terms of world peace, it's pretty easy to watch the news and complain to your family or anybody else that'll give you the time of day and listen. But to be able to pick up a pen and paper the old-fashioned way, or your email service and whatever, write to your government representative. Do something, take some action, even though it feels like they're way up there and you're down here, and what you say or do doesn't make a difference. It does make a difference. So if something's really irritating you, or you're really upset or mad, write. And take your communication, like take action, and let somebody know how you're feeling. So we need anything else from 1 through 5 to 10, 11, 12, 13. That seems to be the non-coherent. We need a coherent colleague interaction. We do. 1 through 5 to 10, 11. So I open to my colleague relationships, evolving and deepening in trust over time. And we're off for that. To my colleague relationships, evolving and deepening in trust over time. And that's all. Okay. Okay, we need another colleague statement. We don't. Carrying on, we need something to do with physical friendship, how we are in presence of somebody else. There's a non-coherent quality. There's a coherent quality is needed. 1 through 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm energized by being in contact with blank. So for us personally, on the world stage, I'm energized by being in contact with government officials, world leaders. World leaders. I am energized by being in touch with world leaders. We're off for that. All right. There's an emotional friendship quality needed. No, non-coherent, coherent. No, we're fine emotionally. We need a mental friendship quality. Yes, non-coherent, coherent. So this is the mental level. 1 through 5 to 10, 5, 6. We encourage each other to be receptive to new ways of looking at something. And we don't resonate with that. And isn't that just a key quality needed when discussing our clash of values among different groups and different countries, etc.? So we encourage each other to be receptive to new ways of looking at something. We're definitely off for that. Okay, we need 8. No, we need a spiritual type relationship quality. We don't. Therapeutic, spiritual, mothering, fathering, child. No, we need any other qualities from the relationship continuum. We don't. Okay, so very interesting. We need to check on, well, we won't do the earlier experience. It really just makes more sense for an individual session, but not in these group sessions. And there isn't anything from here that we need from this earlier experience, right? We need anything from A through, we need the possibilities in the present. So we'll look at a quality from that section, even though it doesn't relate to a particular event in the past. But this is a new possibility in the present. 1, 2, 3. I let go of painful memories, free up the flow of my energy, and create a strong magnetic field for positive relationship in the present. And we're off for that. Great statement. I let go of my painful memories, free up the flow of my energy, and create a strong magnetic field, positive relationship in the present. None of this generational grudges deal. Give it up. Let go of those painful past memories. It's over. We're starting on a new sheet here. Starting with, all the good things needed for a relationship. And that relationship continuum, we need to go through the stages of first meeting, the pleasantries of having an acquaintance, deepening a friendship, being able to trust people mentally, emotionally, physically, etc. We need another new possibility for the present. We don't. There are planetary frequencies that we need to check on. They're not. Body type qualities, not. A lot of these are really more for individual one-to-one sessions. This section we'll work on, though, I call it the impact on the chakra centers. You know about the chakras, the East Indian viewpoint of how energy works. There's 7 major energy centers on the physical body: crown, brow, ether, air at the heart, fire at the stomach area, the abdomen is water, and the lower part of the abdomen is earth. And so how do all these patterns impact our chakra system, how our energy is flowing out and coming back in and keeping our body together? We need to look at earth. We need a strong current and magnetic field response is needed to support an interaction exchange. So we need 1, 2, 3. We have the stamina to persevere through any obstacle, and we're off for that. That's earth. And we need anything else from earth, from water. Water, earth looks after earth chakra quality looks after things like home and hearth and safety, security, financial security, family and belonging. Those are all themes of the earth chakra. The water chakra looks after things like career, relationships, intimacy, creativity, our feelings, and a sense of power and control, mostly about control. You ever get that feeling about somebody's controlling you, and you all of a sudden you want to put your arms over your body to kind of shield you from that kind of control thing? That's control. So we're checking on a strong current and magnetic field response. No. A weak current, weak magnetic field response. No. One other option then is a lack of resistance in the water chakra that is involved in creating a reaction exchange. Oh my. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I discharge my emotional frustrations, and we're on for that. That's like really letting somebody have it, yelling, and it's not about listening and discussing. It's about just being reactive. So I discharge my emotional frustrations. We're on for that. All right, so we want to clear that up. If there's something needed from fire, there is a strong magnetic response for interaction. No, it's a weak current, weak magnetic field. No, it's also a lack of resistance in the fire chakra. Fire chakra typically looks after things like your sense of self-esteem, willpower, sense of timing and getting things done, not If it's out of whack, you're usually a procrastinator, that sort of thing. So the fire chakra, we need 1, we need 2, we need 3, we need 4, we need 5. We don't change what isn't working in our relationship, and instead we end up fighting. We resonate with that. Let me write that out. We don't change what isn't working in our relationship, and instead we end up fighting. And we're on for that. Okay, and heart chakra. You know, love, compassion are the key words here. Unconditional love and forgiveness is traditional. But it's also a sense of success, personal success, and carries the blueprint for all of our dreams and intentions. So we need a strong current magnetic field response. There's a weak current, weak magnetic field. No, we're into a lack of resistance in the heart chakra, involved in, again, the reaction exchange. 1, 2, 3. I feel jealous and possessive and end up discharging my upset and anger. And we're on for that. Feel jealous and possessive and end up discharging my upset and anger. And we're on for that. Ether chakra. This one is up here at the throat. If you were in sync with that, you know, it's related to qualities of having faith, having a voice, being heard, and a form of creative self-expression different from water chakra. It's the kind where you feel like you're a conduit to the universe and the ideas just flow right through you into manifestation. It's where you can write a thesis in a weekend, that sort of thing. And the statement here is a strong current and magnetic flow. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We communicate without words, and we're off for that. We communicate without words. We're off. By the way, if you're following along, be sure to drink water while you're doing these sessions. It helps to move the energy on through our system. Okay, carrying on, we need any other ether chakra qualities? We don't. So that's how these patterns are affecting our chakra system. There's coherent planetary frequencies needed. No, amazingly not. So then we've got 2 more sections to go. We need to identify commitment needed for supporting an interaction exchange. You know, that's the exchange where there's no filters. Our fields just mesh and then blossom and expand in this wonderful field of streaming. We need 1 through 5. 1, we are committed to loving each other unconditionally beyond our weaknesses. And we're off for that. We're committed to loving each other unconditionally beyond our weaknesses. And we need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's all we need in that section. And then the last section is looking at a need for right pacing that supports the natural evolution of our relationship. So, you know, it's like, you've ever had that experience of being on at a subway stop or a bus station or something, and the person beside you unloads their entire life story, like way too much information, right? Right pacing is needed to really, you know, develop a relationship so it's solid and lasts a long time. And you don't want to give away too much information too quickly, or, you know, become too trusting and intimate when there's been no basis for trust and intimacy. So the statement that we need is 2. I take whatever time is necessary with another person to discover. Now that's got to be world leader. It does. I take whatever time is necessary with a world leader to discover whether we are compatible energetically and in our values. And we're off for that. And we need anything else from this last section of the repatterning? We don't. Great, so wonderful. That's our energy exchange repatterning. We've got a number of really great patterns there that hopefully will help us to create peace for our various intentions. We need something else from the system here. So we just finished something here. I'm going to go back to orientation, no problems, intentions, repatterning, modalities, but there is an action. Is it something from the book we were just in? It is. It has a lovely set of suggestions at the back. We need energizing options, something through the chakras, feng shui, cleansing and energizing through bonding with a partner, something from here. We need something from one of these pages here, from the regular positive action list. Going to the regular positive action list here, and 1 through 5 is needed. 1, spiritual well-being. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Read spiritual literature or mystic poetry. We need read spiritual literature. So that's, we need anything else at all in terms of detail. We don't. I could make a suggestion. We could make a suggestion. There's lots of great books out there. So the suggestion here is to help integrate this session is to read some kind of spiritual literature. So that could be anything that's meaningful to you. And it could be a book about spirituality or anything along those lines. I've been reading Terry Patton's book, A New, I keep forgetting how it's termed. Let me just see if I can pull that up quickly. It's a great book that really helps you put this whole world peace thing in perspective. It's called The New Republic of the Heart, an ethos for revolutionaries. Revolutionaries mean people like you and I that just want to see the world to be a more peaceful place. The bottom line is compassion and understanding, but it also means each one of us who are into that, we do need to take action. We do need to write those letters. Whatever it is, whatever corner of the world you're in, you don't have to be a big time important person. Just every little nano action that we take makes a difference. A friend of mine just routinely picks up trash from the side of the road if she's got room for it in her car because she's into saving the environment. Does it make a difference? It does. It's a little step, but it's a big step at the same time. So whatever little thing you can do it. But here for our positive action is to find some kind of spiritual literature and read that in the next, before the next session, August 1st. Yes, so in the next 1 month. So positive action. And if you're listening to this way later than that, just take a month to read something in the way of spiritual literature. Read spiritual literature. I'm going to recommend Terry Patton's book. Okay, there we go. So now we need to do some healing exercises, a spiral up option. We do. And for that, we need this lovely catalog of spiral up healing exercises by Chloe Wordsworth, page 1, page 2, page 3. We need a breath option. We're going to do the left nostril breath. I think we might have done that before. I have to clear my nose for that one. Um, it's very simple to do, and actually it's a great breath to do if you need to calm down or you're feeling stress. You're in the dentist chair, or before you get to the dentist chair. You put one finger on your third eye, your brow chakra, to activate being able to see better, see more, I guess. You're going to block the right nostril and breathe in on the left, and then block the left and breathe out on the right. And then repeat. Always breathing in on the left, block that at the top of the inhale, and breathe out on the right. And we need to do that 1, 2, 3, 4. We do that 5 times. If you can't do 5, just do as many as you can. So here we go. Oh, I forgot to do the finger thing. Here we go. Here we go. And then at the end, just pause for a moment and take a deep integrating breath. It almost happens organically. Feel that wave of peace rolling in as you do that. And then you need to continue on with a visualization. If you can, just keep your eyes closed and move into visualizing your intention for world peace, whatever it was. Today, we're really focusing on relationships among world leaders. But you can visualize whatever you wish. I'm envisioning world leaders being understanding, talking with each other, sorting out their values, transcending the differences, and everyone is included. Taking a deep breath. Move into visualizing your own personal intention that you've submitted for these sessions, and see yourself as having them already manifested in your life. And then stay with that for a moment or two. And that's complete. And then just slowly open your eyes, come back to the room. We need to do any other modalities, healing modalities at this time. We don't. Let's take a deep integrating breath. Again, last one. Okay. We're now going to move into clearing the statements. Yes, we're going to go back to the beginning. So you'll see me looking to the side here at my notes. So to start with, the first statement is there's a clash of values, lack of compassion, and non-coherent behaviors among world leaders, disrupting harmonious leadership relationships that makes cooperation among countries possible. And you know what? We're now cleared for that. Good. Here's our intention: harmonious relationships among world leaders based on compassion, or we have harmonious relationships among world leaders based on compassion that supports cooperation among countries for a new, unprecedented era of peace. We're on for that. Our personal intentions. Now, these next few statements proxy all of the personal intentions submitted to date. I have success in my work, and we're on for that, whatever your work is. I live my life as an example of peace, and we're on for that. I develop new, healthy, and loving friendships in my local area, And we're on for that. I listen with patience and understanding to the differences of opinions expressed by my family and friends and acknowledge others for their point of view. And we're on for that too. Good. Great intentions. Now let's go into the patterns, the energy exchange repatterning. I feel unprotected to let a world leader's intense energy in, and we're cleared for that. I hold myself back from love because I'm afraid to absorb certain frequencies from world leaders. Off for that. Our fields don't mesh to create transformation and expansion for both of us, and we're cleared for that as well. So hopefully we've got much better energy exchange happening types. The specific patterns of energy exchange, I complain about my colleagues' actions to others rather than directly communicate with them. And we're cleared for that. Good. I open to my colleague relationships evolving and deepening in trust over time. And we're on for that. I'm energized by being in touch with world leaders. On for that. We encourage each other to be receptive to new ways of looking at something. We're on for that. Great qualities to have for world leaders, for sure. I let go of my painful memories, free up my energy, and create a strong magnetic field for positive relationships in the present. And we're on for that. How it impacts the chakras, we have the stamina to persevere through any obstacle. We're on for that. I discharged at the water chakra, I discharged my emotional frustrations, cleared for that. Put that in water. Fire, we don't change what isn't working in our relationship, and instead we end up fighting, and we're cleared for that. And I feel jealous and possessive and end up discharging my upset and anger, and we're cleared for that. We communicate without words. That's our ether chakra, and we're on for that. That last one, by the way, was heart. I think. And the other one was fire. Ether. And a couple more statements. We are committed to loving each other unconditionally, beyond our weaknesses. And we're on for that. And lastly, I take whatever time is necessary with world leaders to discover whether we are compatible energetically and in our values. And we're on for that. Good. So all of our statements have cleared, and we have a positive action to read some spiritual literature of your choice before the next session next month. Could be a page, could be a couple of pages. Another good one is, let me just see if I can quickly get that title too, is it called Eye of Spirit, I think, by Ken Wilber. Let's see if that's the title. Eye of Spirit, an integral vision for a world gone mad, I think it is. Eye of Spirit is the name of the book. That might be helpful as well. Okay, well, that's our session for today. Just notice how you're feeling right now, having done the session. You might feel a little lighter, a little like expansive. That's typically how one feels at the end of these repatterning sessions. I always say a great way to integrate these world peace sessions is to notice how your world is changing. What's changed? And, you might see something in the news, in the media, in your community, in your neighborhood. Just pay attention. Remember your repattern for it. They say that everything in this world is the result of our attention, that the world is in potential all the time, and the only things that crystallize into the reality we have is that we're putting our attention on it. So if all we notice are the bad things, then we'll just get more of the same. But if we notice all the good things or the improvements, personally or at the world peace level, our limbic brain is like a little gymnast trying to make sure that it can fill more of that work order tomorrow, and it keeps expanding that field. When your field becomes so coherent with this positive energy, you start to affect the fields of other people. Your presence in a room makes a difference. And certainly your presence on the planet is making a difference as well. So join me again next month for our World Peace Hologram session, Make Peace Personal, and we'll do it again. This is Carolyn Winter. Thank you so much for joining us here at worldpeacehologram.com. Bye for now.